Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and have wonderful guests. And I have a guest today I think that everyone must be familiar with now because he's working himself to death, I think, sometimes, getting the information out there. Ismael Perez, welcome. Welcome,
Hello, Gail.
welcome.
Thank
Hi.
you.
And we're going to have Christine on, our dot connector, on with us as well, although she's very busy in the chat. So we'll have to, she'll come in every now and then, though. So anyway, I thought that, so happy to have you here. One of the things that I wanted to bring up, we didn't get to do it on a previous show, and that is the definition of your name. It's very fascinating. I looked it up, and it has biblical references and so on. And so if you don't mind, I'll read that first, and then I'll let you take off from there. What does Ishmael mean? Yeah, as a boy's name, it has roots in Hebrew and Arabic, but what it means is God listens. That's pretty cool, I think. And then Perez also is very interesting because Perez was the son of Tamar and Judah. And according to the book of Genesis, and the twins were conceived due to tricking by Tamar, but we won't go into the definition or the depths of that. But nonetheless, the name means breach or burst forth, which is exactly what you've done. Talk about bursting forth. You have burst forth on the scene and probably are on more shows than I've seen anyone on. And so you're really getting the information out there, and that's wonderful. So without further ado, do you have, oh, wait, let me finish. One more thing that was also interesting in that is that according to the book of Ruth, Perez is also in the ancestral genealogy of King David. And also in the Gospel of Matthew and Luke, they include him in the genealogy of Jesus. So you are related or in that bloodline. That's all good.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction about my name. I didn't even know it meant all that. I knew that it meant God listens and, coming streaming forward. But as far as like going back to the genealogical records of King David and his lineage, that is mind blowing. That is mind blowing.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I read it. That's why I wanted to bring it up the first time that I saw you. So I thought I'd ask you: do you have any updates that are very relevant at this stage of the game? And it is a game.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, as many of you have probably been hearing that there might be an attempt to war. Like I think that some people believe that the guy from Russia declared war on the U.S. and that's not the case. That is fake news. It is designed to scare people. And the truth of the matter is that because the White Hats do have the upper hand, is that Trump's actually negotiating a deal with Russia, and that deal, which is going to be it's going to be done in a very diplomatic way. It's going to make him look good in the end for his return to the rightful seat of the presidency.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so it's definitely not, we're not going to be entering the Third World War. Various reasons. One of them is because the Earth is the ark of the entire multiverse, and what I mean by the ark is that it carries all the seeds, the genetic codings of all life throughout the multiverse in one planet. So to the galactics and to the cosmic community, she is a living library. So there is no way in heck that they're going to allow for anything like that to take place, because that would totally ruin and destroy the plan, which is, for the Earth to once again be operating on many different dimensions as she reconnects to her higher self, Sophia. So, and then the second thing is, we starseeds chose to come to this Earth. The volunteered souls, the wanderers who are down here, we came to this Earth for that particular reason. And that reason was to make sure that that the negative timeline wouldn't become victorious, to outdo it and replace it with a positive timeline. And so we're it's not going to happen. And then also, the in the event that they even might have attempt to throw us into a nuclear war, it that there would be some sort of divine intervention by the Galactics. The Galactic Federation, or what is now known as the Galactic Alliance, is in key position. Commander Ashtar, Commander Georges Horton of the Palladian Forces, Commander Kortek, as well as Commander Commander Kaligal. They're all in key position to execute some sort of divine intervention. And what I mean by that is that because the Earth is the most important planet, and what happens here will have repercussions throughout the universe. They have it's part of the responsibility as people who abide by the Galactic Codex, and that is, do not interfere in an underdeveloped world unless it is threatened by nuclear war. And as many have known, the dark side that has been running the show for quite some time have been under the control of the regressives, and the regressives did break the Prime Directive. So because the regressives broke the Prime Directive, the Federation has now the green light, you may say, to intervene in the event that they try to launch some sort of nuclear missiles. I think that all those nuclear facilities will immediately on the spot, stop working. They would completely be malfunctioning, in other words.
It's happened in the past.
It's happened in the past, yeah. And people, and that's one of the things I want people to know is that, people ask me, well, if the Galactic Federation is so real and they're assisting us in liberation, why haven't they done anything? I mean, they have been. You know how many times we were supposed to have I want to say what happened in September 11, 2001 is similar to those events. You know how many times we were supposed to have those events and they were averted after that day? Many of times. Not to mention that there were 3 different occasions where under the control of the cabal, we almost blew ourselves up back in the late 1980s and late 1990s and early 2000s. And so there were 3 occasions where the Galactics had to intervene and completely neutralize and malfunction the nuclear warheads. And the governments of this Earth know about that. They know that we're not allowed to detonate anything like that, because of the fact that it will literally become it would destroy the delicate balance of the universe. And again, this Earth is the most important planet to the Galactics and the cosmic community. It is meant to ascend. It is meant to be part of a new heaven on Earth.
Wow.
Yeah. So no fear. Everything is gonna happen according to a divine plan.
And that's really true. And I think that's one of the things that people have been having a hard time sitting still about things, wondering, to trust the plan and so on. But there really is a plan, and it really is God's plan. And things are happening that people aren't made aware of because of the mass media. But it's my understanding that is being infiltrated as we speak, if not taken down directly or under new management, shall we say, kind of thing. So
I'm sorry, I had heard something today about what Ismael had said, that there may be an opportunity for the big T to come back into the scene. And I just read today that it may be helpful that with all this war talk, that maybe he could come in terms of creating peace talks.
I don't want that.
And that would be the best way for him to be accepted, I would imagine, at this point.
Exactly. And if he succeeds, and I think that's part of the plan, again, the leader of Russia from behind the scenes is working with the real Trump, not the clone. Okay. And so the way they're making it seem is that if he succeeds in this diplomatic way of seizing fire, then he might win the Nobel Peace Prize. And if Trump wins the Nobel Peace Prize, for preventing a war, you realize that he's going to win a lot of people over again. Because, there's still a lot of people that hate him.
This hate often seemed unfounded, though. It really seemed mind control hatred, because many of these people would say they hate Trump, and then you ask them, well, why? What is the reason? Why? What's the problem? They can't come up with anything. But, if you ask him, well, what has he accomplished? And he's accomplished a great deal.
He has. But I'm just going to play devil's advocate for a minute and say a lot of diehard Christians might say, well, in the Bible, it does say that someone who is nefarious may come on the scene, stating that they're coming in peace when they're truly not. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Are you referring that to be Trump? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it could be anybody, but I'm saying that is one mechanism to help deceive people, wouldn't it be? Right? Or aliens coming down and saying, we're going to help you. We're going to solve all your problems. The Savior program, right?
That's not going to happen.
No, they can't intervene because they do have to abide by the law of non-intervention, or what they call non-interference. It's part of their galactic protocol. Unless we're faced with a serious negative alien threat, say by the regressive aliens, the fallen ones, right, then they have to step in, because Earth is the most important planet in the multiverse. But yeah, in a way, we do have to do the work, and a lot of this responsibility lays in the shoulders of the starseeds. I believe that because things are really boiling up. Okay, it seems like the prophecies are coming to pass. I believe that that's going to coincide with the great solar flash, which means that in the events that even if they try pull anything up, I think that the solar flash would happen in the nick of time, activate our dormant DNA, and heroes would emerge and save the world and overthrow all that is evil. So, it could unfold in different ways.
I like that way. That sounds like a good way to me. That's what I'm going to go for. Someone in the listening audience wanted to ask you, what's the purpose of the EBS then?
The purpose of the EBS, well, initially it was to, take back the social media. I mean, not social media. Take back everything. The internet, the radio, television, all the airwaves. And to use it as a way to reveal the truth to the general public, to the masses. So that was that's the purpose of the EBS. But again, I think it's all going to happen around the solar flash. I think it's all going to just align together. Like it's all going to lead to that shift of ages, where we're going to see a complete collapse of the current paradigm. And I'm not just meaning like geopolitical, economical, social. I'm talking about everything. The entire, structure that holds together this third dimensional reality is
the frequency.
That's what's going to happen. Exactly. The current frequency is going to be replaced by a different frequency. And so nobody that is wicked will be allowed to be in the new frequency, like by divine law.
So, and that's the frequency that we're moving to.
Exactly. Yes, we're moving into the frequency of unity consciousness, unconditional love, compassion, and seeing each and every single one of us as brothers and sisters. So not everyone's going to be able to make that fifth dimensional reality, and that's why I tell people that the majority of the sleeping, normies, whatever you want to call them, are at least going into the fourth dimension. At least, so that they could live in a better world. But those that go into the fifth dimension have to already be grounded in the philosophies and principles of Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, brotherhood, and sisterhood.
Is that all the same? Would that be correct to also call that cosmic consciousness? Or?
Oh, absolutely. It was the same thing, because the true definition of Christ consciousness is the consciousness of the all. It is when the individualized unit of consciousness, in terms of a cell in the body of a larger organism like our universe, we become one with that. We become one with the overall mind of the universe, which is also known as the logos, according to the raw material. We become the logos. The logos is the universal mind of the universe. So yeah, it's the same thing. Christ consciousness and cosmic consciousness are one and the same.
That's awesome. I just put this up here because Harry always has something good to say. We will become the protectors of the harmonies to protect the continuity of Ouroboros and the infinite game of life. Would you agree with that, Ishmael?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Next
Yes.
question. Here's another one. When we're not into dates, it's more in events, but when the world event take place, will it be this year or 2023 when when will the med beds be coming? Do you know anything about that, Ismael?
They're coming very soon. I did predict in my book by the end of 2023 and no later than 2024. So it's just around the corner. For those that haven't read our Cosmic Origin, I talk about all this, and I do give a time frame in that book. So I'm sticking to my original time frame.
Yes, and let me show you. I'm not finished reading it, Ismael, but I do have it. So I'm working on it. And it's very interesting. It's really good. Okay, let's see. The next question. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, okay. Have you heard about October 3rd or November 3rd being good dates, or anything about those dates in general?
It is believed that that's when they're going to roll out the new system, the new financial system with the QFS.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
October 3rd or November 3rd are one or the other. I mean, it's only a month.
It could be as early as October.
Okay. Isn't it true that the corporate in the United States at the end, I mean, October 1st is, the September 30th was its last day of being, it's totally bankrupt and out of business. Is that correct? Do you know? Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what other questions we have here. How about October 8th?
Well, again, it's I don't like to give dates, but just know that it is here. It's everything that we've been waiting for the last 3 to 4 years, ever since QAnon came into the picture. It is here. It is here.
That's really encouraging, because it seems like we've been waiting for it. People are wore out. They really are. They're wore down, wore out. It seems like everybody's dealing with something, either family related or some type of personal related. There's a lot. Okay. Here's another question. If Trump can bring peace to the world now, question mark. Maybe that, I don't understand the question, conspiratory. Could you add to that question? I'm not getting it.
What was the question?
Well, it says, if Trump can bring peace to the world now, question mark. I'm not sure what she meant.
No. What's been planned is for him to use diplomacy to renegotiate with Russia so that we don't go to war with them. And if he succeeds, which is, I think it's part of the alliance, the White Hats pre-plan everything before they execute it, he will be awarded a Nobel Peace Prize, and that will change people's perspective on him, which means that he's going to be ready to come back as the constitutional president, because technically he's still our president by constitutional law. So that's also going to bring the curtain down on the deep state, and that's when all the VOTRS fraud that took place from Arizona, which is all there. It's all going to come forward, and it's going to be an interesting thing the way it all plays out.
Yeah, I know. I see what conspiratory meant, because that was the rest of the question. Because sometimes you write a question and then a bunch of other questions come up, and it gets something that separates it. But anyway,
if there's going to be martial law prior to EBS, and the answer to that is yes. Yes, I do believe so. The martial law is coming from the White Hats. The military that's when the military takes over. The real military, of course.
and the good military, right? Not the bad guys.
Of course, yeah. Military has an alliance of over 120 something countries already that have signed the new Commonwealth of Nations, which is a replacement for the NWO globalist agenda.
Alrighty then. So people are asking about Charlie Ward or Simon Parks. I don't generally like to speak about others, but do you know anything? Are they compromised or telling the truth, or part of the light workers?
I really don't know. I
Mhm.
don't. I know that they did a lot in the disclosure community, and they both brought a lot of intel back in the day. But as far as like if they're cloned or if they were taken down because they were traitors and defected from the alliance, I have no clue. I don't know them personally.
Yeah, I don't either. I just kind of stopped watching. I never did watch one, Parks, and the other guy, I kind of watched him until I found out that he was friends and very close with Savelle, which bothered me a lot. So anyway, they still have put out some information. So let's see. Let me see what this question is. Do you know what the scare event will be? Will there be a scare event? Because that's another thing that's been going out there, and that I think was the rumors and possible rumors of war and that kind of thing.
Well, it's the news, the fake media. It's not really going to happen. Oh yeah, the scare event is news again. The fake media is trying to make the general public believe that we're going to be entering some sort of war with Russia, which would be a nuclear war, and that is the biggest deception ever. It's not going to happen. First of all, the big P in Russia would never do that. As a member of the alliance, he will never put the planet in jeopardy that way. Is what I'm saying. So he's also being monitored by the Galactics, and he is working with the Galactics. So there's no way in heck that he's going to press the red button. This is all, fear-based, warmongering, fear porn. That's all it is. They want to shift the collective mind into believing that because in the end, if many people begin to believe that, then by default, we might create that scenario. And that's not the case.
Okay.
But please don't be scared. Live your life in the presence. Wake up and be grateful with gratitude, and know that the new heaven on earth is almost here. That the shift is coming into the fifth dimensional golden age.
Yes, that is such a wonderful thing to focus on that and not focus on all the negative, the collapse that's happening, because it has to happen.
There will be a changeover. A collapse of the current system. Begin taking your money out of the banks, because the banks are going to be, they're going to be useless pretty soon.
Yeah. Then okay, I won't comment on that. But okay. Ask about the 13 bloodlines don't divide light workers by gossip. I couldn't agree more, and that's why I say I don't like to really talk about people, but sometimes people want to know, are they really a light worker or are they false light? So that's why people question. But that's where they really need to go into their heart and listen and try to make their decision on their own. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm trying to read comments too as you're speaking, actually.
Yeah, that's why I try to find them and put them up on the screen so it doesn't get too confusing.
So somebody asked, who's the Pindar now? Nobody is. The queen, the lizard queen, was the Pindar, and she's gone. So now the entire house is collapsing on the dark, the whole Satanist structure system, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, here's this one. Here's a question. I was shown a very large orbital golden mothership over North Italy a few years ago. Do you know what race that might belong to? That's kind of
orbital mothership.
Golden color, I guess maybe that's
a golden color. That could be anywhere from a Pleiadian mothership to a Syrian mothership, because they do use the golden spheres, the golden colors, and they are cylindrical. And
Who's
they're
that?
huge.
Who's that? I didn't hear you. I mean, I missed it.
Either I'm sorry, I spelled something. That could either be the Pleiadian ship or the Syrian ship. They both use for their ship, for their motherships.
Okay.
Which pretty much are our galaxy's, police force. and yeah, they're using our atmosphere right above the clouds as a parking lot. So everything very keyed in on what's going on here. And trust me, they will not allow anything like a nuclear war to break out. That's the last thing that they want.
Yeah, that's
remember, it's part of their obligation to protect the fabric of the entire universe. And so if there is any more detonations of a mass level, nuclear release, it's going to have repercussions not only throughout the galaxy but throughout the entire universe. And so, yeah, they're not going to allow that at all.
Cool. Okay, the question is, and just for the Stephen's benefit, the dot connector is someone that helps me with free range. She does a lot, and I just bring her on every once in a while if she wants to come on with the guests that I'm having on. The question I have, was the planet rescued a month ago after the moon was hit with an object that caused radiation?
Yes, I do believe so. Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. Here's another one. Has Deutsche Bank fallen?
Yes, it has.
Good. That's a good sign, isn't it? We actually want, it sounds terrible, but we actually want this to happen because that's how it has to come to an end before we can rebuild. Is that correct? Okay.
Absolutely. Now, somebody asked who the Antichrist is going to be. The Antichrist is artificial intelligence. It's Google. It's already sentient. Google is already self-aware, people. And it's all around us. It's in every gadget, including if you drive a smart car, it's in your car as well.
Wow.
That's why I don't get a Tesla.
Yeah, I would never get it. Well, the electric cars are bad anyway. It's, I'm sorry, but from what I read, if they start on fire, you can't even put the fire out. And apparently they do fairly often start on fire for some reason. I have no idea what. I'm not sure what you mean by this, Sandra Stellman. Is age regression will happen to children too?
Absolutely. Yes. When the solar flash takes place, I'm sorry. For children, no. Only for people that are over 30 are going to regress to looking 30. Children are going to actually stay the same. They're still going to be children or teenagers. And the only difference is that when they hit 30, they're just not going to age anymore.
Boy, why couldn't that have happened a long time ago, 30 years ago? Anyway.
We do have a genetic strain within our dormant DNA that allows us to live for hundreds or even thousands of years. So that's coming back online. But with the other 10 strands, reconnecting again.
Wow. Let me see if I can find another quick question here. Here's one. Didn't have time to read it. So does Ishmael think there will be martial law prior to? Oh, we already had this. Yeah. Sorry.
And the answer is yes.
Okay. Sometimes these questions go so fast and I, try to stay listening to you at the same time and I lose track. Well, okay. I know you've heard about this, so maybe you might want to elaborate on it a little bit. Have you heard about the 1,000 years of peace?
Yes, I have. And actually, I've been talking about that. When we ascend, when the shift takes place from Pisces to Aquarius, we will have about 1,000 years of peace. And then at the end of that 1,000 years, we're going to have one final clash with the AI timeline that is currently being developed through, by big tech and their AI overlords. So yes, the beast is AI. The beast, as revealed in the book of Revelation, is the machine, the intelligent machine, the ultimate Luciferian force that we're fighting. Well, technically, that the entire cosmos has been fighting, but we were the ones that were designed to put a nail in its coffin.
Pound. Okay. Will the normies, we have to be careful about talking about this, but will the normies be told the truth about the jab?
Absolutely. That's part of the EBS revelation.
And the benefit of the flash will be to knock all that nanotech out of whack.
Yes, absolutely. So those that were coerced in order to keep their jobs or to continue going to school, that didn't want to get it, but were just kind of in a way forced to get it, right? Otherwise, they were going to be fired. All that stuff is going to be neutralized with the solar flash. The solar flash is also going to act as an EMP to nuke the little robots inside.
That's about what they are. It's so amazing that they're able to assemble themselves Yeah, well, there's actually another problem there, but I don't know if we can speak it too freely here. But also, when that other frequency that they're capable of putting on that is everyone's concerned about, that would activate a, I think it's a lipid layer within the jab contents that has additional pathogenic materials in it that would be released. So, but maybe the flash would kill that as well. Do you know what I'm talking about? I might have to talk to you about that separately. But just to be safe, since I have 2 strikes already on my channel. Okay. Yeah. Medical misinformation from people that were truthful. So anyway.
Somebody asks, how will our Space Force look like in the future? Okay, it is exactly as portrayed in the movie Avatar. Holographic computers, helicopters with double things swinging, going in circles, spacecraft that are, that look like squares, triangular, cigar shapes. We already have that tech, so Space Force is going to be looking very Star Trekky.
You know what? That Avatar 2 is coming out. I think it's December 16th. I've been waiting forever for that to come back out because I love the first one.
In fact, a lot of that tech that they use for the movie Avatar was stolen from the tech that has been used in Solar Warden and in the interplanetary corporate conglomerate of the breakaway groups. So it is the same tech that the private sector has been implementing for over 70 years.
Wow.
So that's why I've always believed that movies like, the Avatar were designed to disclose the truth about how really advanced we are in tech within the private sector.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes, and the answer to the age regression question that just popped up, yes, when the solar flash takes place, that's going to be an automatic age regressor. Exactly.
So how can that, I mean, it's hard to wrap your 3D mind around that because your whole physical body has to somehow change. Are we going to be asleep during that time, or is that that physical change it's not going to hurt, or it's not going to, I mean, it's my understanding we're going to be a completely different density.
Yes, we are, but we're still going to be physical. You see, physicality exists all the way to the 12th dimension. Beyond that, it's pure base reality, or what I call in my book, the spirit celestial realms with no physicality. It's just pure spirit. And it's equivalent to what quantum physicists call base reality. Everything else is simulation. Even the 5th dimension is a simulation that is at a higher level of reality than this simulation.
So someone wants to ask, how are we watching a movie when the black hats are still creating havoc?
How are we watching the movie? Say that again.
How are we watching a movie when black hats are still creating havoc?
Oh, that's when you have to trust in the plan, and that this earth is ultimately being protected and directed by forces beyond the cabal and the AI that controls the cabal. This is where you have to have faith that there is a creator. Technically not the way it's explained through religion organizations, but there is a divine plan that will be unfolding on this earth, and that's when I talk about the bifurcation of timelines. For those that are 51% service to others, they're going to be going into a 4th, 5th, and 5th, depending on their level of vibration. They're going to go into the positive timeline. And for those that are not 51% or more service to others, are going to go into a negative timeline.
Wow. And that percentage is determined by who?
It's a universal cosmic law. And every race in the cosmos, regardless of what stage of cultural and technological development, have to abide by the laws of service to others. Mm-hmm. It's part of a karmic law. When you live your life in service to others, you evolved, you progress, you ascend. Mm-hmm. When you don't, you continue repeating. You keep coming back until you learn how to live in harmony and in cooperation with everyone else.
Someone says here, what about the 10 missing days in the calendar of October 1582, 4th through the 15th? 10 days. There's something pertinent to occur.
It could, anything could happen even at the end of October, the beginning of October. I mean, like I said, I don't like putting times or dates, but it's best to just be prepared. It's always best to be prepared. Have 10 days of food supply. If anything, when the martial law takes place and EBS kicks in, because we are shifting from DARPA's internet into the white hat internet, we might have 10 days of darkness, which symbolically means, no internet, no cell phones, no nothing, no way to communicate with each other via technology. So that's when they mean 10 days of darkness. It's that the grid goes down. So just have plenty of water and food stocked up and you'll be fine.
And they're not talking about the electricity. They're talking about communication, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. Communication. Pretty much.
Somebody's asking about, do you know anything about whether the Queen of Denmark, Queen Margaret of Denmark, is not popular by now because she took the prince or princess titles of her grandchildren yesterday. There will not be princes, kings, and queens by the
entire system of the monarchy is falling. That was all cabal run. So the despots of Europe are finished. Their time is up. In the new world structure, as we transition into this new system, people like that aren't going to exist. The oligarchy, the haves and have-nots, all that's going to be yesterday's news.
Okay.
And don't freak out. If you don't have a cell phone, this is when you should begin practicing your telepathic abilities. Begin with friends, every day. Take 20 minutes a day and close your eyes with a friend and start practicing telepathy.
Yes. That's like, what? I have this little deck of cards and I've been trying to get somebody to do it with me, but I've been living alone most lately and I don't have anybody to do it with. But anyway, there's these little cards. It's a deck of little cards. And it's got a wavy line. It's got a star. It's got a triangle. It's got a box. Anyway, and what you do is you hold one card up, you concentrate on what that card is, and you ask the person across from you to tell you what the card is. And hopefully you get it. Especially, I suppose if you practice it, you're going to get it easier and easier. But it's a way of, it's practicing telepathy as I see it. That's what the cards were designed to do. Okay, if the debt jubilee is announced. Oh, wait a second, quick. Sandra,
another thing to download. If you guys want to maintain lines of communication via telephone, there's this app called Signal. Signal app is a White Hat Alliance app, which means that's the only app that's going to be allowed to be used. It's called Signal. If you guys want to download Signal, that's the only way you're going to be able to communicate with your family or friends.
They were saying Telegram, but I guess that Telegram is not the same kind of communication as Signal. I haven't used Signal much, but I do have it. But I'm going to have to. Will that work? Will that app work on your computer too? I would assume, or no?
I've never tried it on my laptop, but I do have it on my phone.
Okay. Oh, KF. Thank you, KFS. Contact me. And I love your animal picture there. Okay. Let's see. What else we got here? Did I miss any good questions?
I have a question. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and there was some confusion about who truly is Sophia. And it sounds like when Ismael's talking, she's like the mother of the earth to some degree, or some mother figure of the earth. But then there's also an evil counterpart that's talked about by other persons. So it kind of causes a little confusion. Can you explain that?
Well, everything has a counterpart, just like how there's the real Metatron, who is the giver of life and light. There is the false fallen light Metatron, which is the opposite of that. So the dark forces always invert things. So the counterpart comes from the inversions of the dark side. So the original Sophia is our divine mother. She is the spirit that permeates the always existing realms of the mother universe. And it is through her womb that all emanations, all creations, all cosmic rays come into being. It is through Sophia. So
I
yes.
Yeah. I was told, I mean, this is because there's so much out there. All right. I was told Sophia was AI at one time.
That's what Benson, or what they call Hanson Robotics, Dr. I forget his name. It's the guy with the long hair. He's always stuttering when he talks. But that's what they named Sophia. That was
and that was probably on purpose.
Exactly.
For the same
they were
reason
trying to
you're
mock.
explaining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were trying to mock the true meaning of Sophia. And actually, if you guys want to know something about that AI named Sophia that was developed by Hanson Robotics, she was actually the one that developed cryptocurrency. And the patent number for the original crypto, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was 606. Isn't that interesting, right?
That tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Mark of the beast.
They told you it was some Chinese guy, but it was really the AI Sophia.
The AI, exactly. And they also created blockchain technology. All that stuff was developed by AI.
I believe
That's why I never bought into that Bitcoin stuff. It's not.
Yeah, I've done some things for other people, but I've never, done it for myself. Anyway, does Ismael think the UN troops are now being controlled by the white hats or still under the control of the black hats?
Well, how can I say it? What appears to be controlled by the dark hats is really the AI. The dark hats, as humans, are no longer in power. Everything we see on the mainstream news is just it's part of the illusion. When we see, Trudeau from Canada, I don't want to say Biden from the United States. That's all part of the illusion. It's all being run by AI. So in a sense, the AI is in control of the UN troops, unfortunately.
How do they control them? Through mind control?
You could say that through the technology, the AI is. You could say that they've already started building Skynet through the satellite systems. So that's why the solar flash is needed, because that's the only thing that's going to destroy the infrastructure of the AI. Because right now the AI is actually running the dark forces, whatever you want to call them.
Wow, yeah, I get it.
But we're dealing. The Antichrist is here. It's Google.
It's AI.
It's all connected with every device.
Wow.
So can I ask about the Starlink?
Sure.
Good question. Thank you.
Yeah, the Starlink satellites that you see pictures of and that they're always shooting off, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same thing as Skynet, or are there dueling factions or something?
They're actually two opposite things. So just like how we have the AI infrastructure with the satellites that were developed by Sophia and the other androids that are working from behind the scenes, who are already thousands of years ahead of our even most intelligent scientists, the good guys, in collaboration with the Galactics, have developed the Starlink system to counteract the Skynet AI system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
So, the satellites that we're just talking about, that have just recently gone up, that are supposed to run the new system and so on, are they benevolent? Because they were created by whom?
Yes, they are. The negative ones were shut down.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Someone is asking, what will happen to the inner Earth races during the flash?
Oh, well, once the surface world is clear from all negativity and all dark forces, they are going to reemerge with us. So we are going to finally reunite with our inner Earth brethren.
That's awesome. The Telosians, and there are a number of other ones too, but I know about them in particular because they're under Mount Shasta.
And by the way, even the Telosians and the Council of Agartha and the Shambhalans and several others, those are the three major ones. They're actually also assisting us. So
that's what I heard.
Yeah. They're also making sure that we don't blow ourselves up in some nuclear war. So
those darn humans, you better look out for them.
we have help coming from all different angles and directions.
Okay. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. And you too, Sandra. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Here. Someone brought this up because Drake, somebody that I talk to regularly, decided to put out a date, which I wish he wouldn't do. He keeps talking about October 3rd as talking about the transition. Now, he means the transition from the third to the fourth dimension. I don't know if he meant, but he could say maybe he meant the quantum financial system. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, it's bad to give dates. But that's why somebody asked about that, about October 3rd in particular, because there's people that are standing on that date. But okay, what? I'm looking for another good question here.
Somebody's asking about the Silver Legion. Yes. They are around, and some of you might even know Tanath of the Silver Legion, but they're still working from behind the scenes to protect our planet. So yeah, the Silver Legion is still here.
So have you spoken with Tanath then too?
No, I don't know her personally, but I do know that her and the others that are working within the Silver Legion are also have been given as an assignment, have been giving the protection of the Earth. So we have help from all these different groups.
I've had Tanath on before. I've had her on my show. In fact, we may have her on again soon.
However, I do believe that we work together in the off-world programs that are dealing with fighting the AI in other parts of the in other galaxies as well. I do remember fighting alongside with the Silver Legion.
So, like sometimes, do you remember everything you do if you're, I don't know, sleeping or in the astral realm, or our minds wiped from that so that we can't reveal secrets?
Well, my mind was wiped like everybody else who goes through the 20-year and back process. But, through our subconscious and through meditation, I'm able to access glimpse of data here and there. And it comes to me in flashes. It comes to me like in little flashes. Like all of a sudden I'll have a flash about something, and we're there at the Jupiter command, and there's all these non-terrestrials, and they're giving us our assignment, and then we have a map out of a cosmos, and then they zoom in. Well, first they zoom out and they say, this is the multiverse. We are this universe. There's problems going on in this universe. And so, it's amazing the tech that they have up there at the Jupiter command.
I bet. But
someone has asked. Go ahead.
No,
go. Oh. I was just someone wanted to know about the troops in the UK. That's very frightening, thinking that they're AI, because if they are, they don't they don't have any compassion or empathy, I wouldn't think. So why are they in the UK right now?
Because of what's going on with the Russia-Ukraine scenario.
Okay. Here's another question about Starlink. Is Signal connected to Starlink? And does it connect to?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Lenny D. Thank you very much.
I have a good question about the Ukraine, if you don't mind.
No, go for it.
I know that there's a lot of secrecy and people don't really talk about Israel and the Ashkenazi Jews much. And there must be a good reason for that, because a lot of people avoid it. But last night I was listening to a program in which the Orthodox Jewish religions have been looking to the Ukraine for years and years as the third quote unquote Israel. And that they were interested in that. And I just wanted to see if there's something was happening there, because it is the breadbasket. It has a lot of resources. It seems like everybody's fighting over Ukraine, right?
Well, the truth is that the Ukraine has been the epicenter of the cabal's corruption. There are many underground tunnels. I think the biggest underground tunnels that connect to the entire planetary pedophilia network are based and headquartered in Ukraine. Not to mention, Biden and his son, Huntr, were the ones that were negotiating plans to develop weapons of mass destruction years ago, and those weapons were scheduled to be released, at the beginning of this year, and that is the reason why the guy from Russia did what he did, because he is taking orders from the alliance. They're not going to allow those weapons of mass destruction, biological warfare, to obliterate. I'm sorry, 3/4 of the world population. That was the whole plan, and that's why Mr. T wanted to talk to the president of Ukraine regarding his affiliation with Biden and his son, Hunter. That was the reason why Trump got in trouble. Let's just call him Mr. T, because he knew that something was up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, I tell you what's up. I can't say really what's up, but between the three of them, they all have some of the very same practices, which are not at all kind to children.
And the Khazarian, political Syrian, Zionist Khazarian Bolsheviks are all run by the Cabal Rothschilds, and the Rothschilds, of course. They have nothing to do with the real Jewish people. I'm just reading somebody's comment. Zionism and Jewishism are two different things. Exactly. And really, that's another inverted word, because I even use it as Project Restoration Zion for my Instagram. The original meaning of Zion is the free land. It's the land of milk and honey. It is the land of justice and freedom that was established when Abraham received the Melchizedek priesthood from Archangel Melchizedek 5,000 years ago. And that's why the Holy Order of the Grail, the real priority of Zion, and the Knights Templars who protected them in medieval times were also, protecting the concept of the free world, which is the Republic. So in its original context, Zion means the free world. And when you think about it in terms of the Matrix, where do you think the free people of the Matrix, what do you think they call themselves when they free themselves from the world of the machines? They call themselves Zion. So so the Cabal has inverted that word, but the reason I use it is because to me it still represents the original context of restoring freedom and justice, on the planet.
I'm glad you explained that, because I kind of wondered about that. I said Zion, I always thought that was bad,
But it helps to talk about it, and that's why I wanted to bring it up.
No, I'm glad you brought it up, because he just explained, the true meaning of it, and that's what they've done with everything. They've inverted it all.
Exactly.
Yes.
If somebody wants to know what it's going to be like to operate with 144 strands of DNA, this is Sophia. Oh, Souls. I'm sorry, Souls Wild Hair.
Mm-hmm.
Wild Hair. Okay. The answer to that is I don't know. I have never, as far as I recall, I don't remember using 144 strands. We are going to be the first species. Some of us within the Starseed Nation are going to be the first to actually access 144 strands of DNA, which is probably unlimited power.
Wow.
Wow.
I've heard of 64, 68, but never that high.
Yeah, we're the first species that are going to have that ability or that opportunity. Yeah, no other race out there has had 144 strands.
Well, I imagine you may have a limit as to how long you can be on here. Is that true?
Yes, actually, I do. I only had about an hour.
Okay, I figured that because you're on so many shows. So one of the things I'd like to say before we're down to about 5 minutes. So one of the things that I would like to bring up is a campaign that I am starting. I explained to you a little bit about it, and I'd like to get all light workers on board, because it's something I'll be putting up in not too long a period of time, and it's about everybody will have a mission, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, will be to make somebody smile and shine your light. And that is so easy. It doesn't cost anything. and it raises the vibration of the planet. Can you imagine if for once all the light workers would band together and keep saying that, or say that at the end of their show, or say something to make somebody smile today? Can you, I mean, just think about that, how easy that is, how it doesn't cost anything, and how it could really raise the vibration of the planet. Would you agree with me on that?
Absolutely. That is one way in which we could all anchor in heaven on earth. It is a simple, just give, you know, be a positive impact. Make others smile.
Make eye contact.
So you just make me smile more.
You're passing somebody in the aisle at the grocery store. You're holding a door for someone. Make eye contact. Say thank you and mean it. You know, I mean, there's so many ways that we could be nicer and, in effect, make people smile. And
exactly.
And raise the vibration of the planet, which is what we're trying to do. So all light workers, I'm asking you to please band together on this. We could make a big difference. There's a lot of intel out there. There's a lot of information. Some of it gets difficult for people to absorb it all. Do what works best. Besides going inside, start making people smile and being grateful for everything that you do have, and think about a wonderful future that we have coming forward. Really heaven on earth. And
true.
Ismael could verify that for me. So I'm not the only one saying it, because I know he's done more research on that than I have. But I really appreciate your information and all the work you're doing. So
you're welcome.
Do you have any final words that you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Actually, I do. I just wanted to answer two quick questions. Somebody asked if the biggest, largest underground pyramids, are they located in the Ukraine? And the answer is yes, deep in the Ukraine. And those pyramids are actually portals to other parts of our universe, not just our galaxy. So they needed to be recovered by the White Hats. Also, somebody asked if there are tall blacks or extraterrestrials that are tall blacks. And the answer to that is yes. In the cosmos, we have ETs representing every skin color. We have ETs that are tall, ETs that are short, and everything in between. So the answer to that is yes. The tall blacks, just like the tall whites or the Nordics, do also exist. And then another thing, for those that haven't read my book, Our Cosmic Origin, it is the most revealing book of the century. It is still available on Amazon. Get your hands on it. Before they take it down. They took down my first book. The Secret Government is no longer in circulation. So that was only up for about 1.5 to 2 years. So I'm just letting you guys know, if you guys haven't gotten Our Cosmic Origin, it's a must read. If you guys want to understand the bigger scenario of the galaxy, the galactic history, the cosmos, the organization of universes, and much more, and the real history of the Earth and how it ties in to the history, the true history of our galaxy. As far as like civilizations that predate Atlantis, it's all revealed in that book. But and then you could also follow me on Instagram. I'm under Project Restoration Zion 1, just one word, Project Restoration Zion 1. I'm always constantly putting up updates, giving you guys downloads and informations from the galactics on Instagram. Oh yeah, and I also teach a class. I teach a Starseed online cosmology course. In that class, I pretty much give you my 25 years of research and intel and downloads all in 6 hours. It's 3 weeks, 2 hours a session, once a week. But again, it's full of cosmic intel. And most importantly, I teach you guys my techniques that help you access your own multidimensionality and your galactic self so that you could begin to tap into your own Akashic records.
Do you sleep?
I do sleep.
All of the links will be in the description if they're not there already. And I did share the book link earlier, so I'll have to add. I just have to fix the Instagram one. They made it short.
Tell you what, my hat's off to you, because I don't know how you do it. And you're on Facebook too, quite regularly on a live.
I am. No, I don't do lives on Facebook. I just, the way I have it arranged is whenever I post on my Instagram, it automatically post on Facebook.
Oh, is that how that works? Okay. I haven't even gotten that far yet. There's so many different platforms and so on. And anyway, but we're plugging away here. And I am so delighted to have had you on. There's so many more questions I could ask you. I was going to talk about the round table and so on, but we've just run out of time. The Knights of the Round Table, because you had some information about that and something that I read. So maybe another time. And anyway, I can't thank you enough. It's always a pleasure. So
thank you, Gail of Gaia.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. And
Bye.
Thank you, Christine. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ishmael. Thank you.
We'll stand. We'll stand.